Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. Hope well wherever you are, and as ever, I'd love to hear what you think. I've been thinking about this for at least at least a day or two, so I thought I'd get around to talking about some of my dreams for as a fan of Italian football. I know I often make these videos. I know I covered a few about Milan before, but I don't think I did one in list form about the companies I would love to co-own AC Milan. But yeah, I'd love to hear what football fans think, especially fans of Italian football and AC Milan in particular, and anything else you want to comment. If you let me know how your day's going, or where you're watching from, or anything like that, it'd be interesting to read. And yeah, so and as ever, I welcome constructive points of view. So here goes. So number one, I would love for as many companies as possible to invest into AC Milan, and like for Italian teams generally as well, Celtic, as I often mentioned, like to have co-owners rather than just one or two owners. So even if some investors pull out money or their businesses, sorry, are not doing as well as others, they still have like multiple companies investing. So it's a bit like someone having multiple streams of income. Not that I would know much about that, but so yeah, I'd love for as many companies as possible to invest in AC Milan. Number two, I would also love for, due to my strange patterns and alliterations, I would love for companies that begin with A to invest in AC Milan. And in the past, I've even thought, like, what if AC Milan were changed to be called Apple Calcio Milan instead of Association Calcio Milan? Sorry if I butcher the pronunciation, as I often say. But yeah, maybe that could be like a nickname. I'm thinking of like other teams, how they went mad when their name or logo or some of the part of their history was changed. I wonder what Milan fans would think if the name was changed. Would you welcome it if it meant more trophies, or would you say no, definitely not? Because I know I made this video a while back about asking questions to Milan fans and things like that. I made a few videos, but yeah, I don't think I made one, so to say, listing the whole amount of teams I would love to invest in the club. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting that if Apple invested, as Apple is one of the biggest companies in the world, but also I think it's the only company, or one of only two or three companies that are $1 trillion companies. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how much they would invest, but there's no guarantee, I suppose, that they would invest, or even that investment would lead to trophies, or certainly not in the short term. But yeah, I'd love for AC Milan to win trophies as quickly as possible. I think it'd be great if AC Milan shocked everyone and won the Champions League this year, or at least one Italian team did. Maybe Napoli or Inter Milan. As a fan of Italian football generally, I'd welcome any of those winning the Champions League, or any Italian team winning in Europe or internationally. But lost train of thought, sorry. But yeah, it's no guarantee that they would invest a huge amount or whatever, because they could be like tight owners and only buy to invest for profit. Like some people say, American owners only invest for profit, whereas the Arab owners invest to win. But I think with America's competitive spirit, it would be interesting if they bought that. As Americans are normally quite competitive, or very competitive, one of the most competitive groups I hear. But yeah, so it would be interesting if maybe they could learn about football like people at Apple, and in return they could have like their Apple phones, they could have like Apple stores in or as close as possible to the stadiums, to AC Milan's stadium, and like have their brand on all the stands and things like that, even on the chairs and things like that. Obviously, there'd be something in it for them, so they could look at ways that they could make money from the club, but also invest in the club towards a mutual benefit and a mutual success. Number three, also Amazon. Number four, again, as many companies as possible that begin with A, like Amazon, Apple, Amstrad, possibly even Alibaba, and all sorts of companies like that. Again, with Alibaba, they could sorry, how would I pronounce it? They could promote their business and like what they do, and help companies around the world to sell, like especially SMEs, small and medium-sized companies, or even sole traders, or even startups, like help them to sell their. I suppose they would come under SMEs perhaps, but yeah, they could help them to. Solo enterprises would probably come under SMEs, but yeah, they could help them sell their wares, but which they do, I suppose. But they could do that around the world, and they could venture into Italy as well with through the. They're probably already involved in Italy or whatnot, but maybe they could have even more of a presence in Italy if they invested in AC Milan. Number 5, I think it'd be cool if the fashion industry as well, as Milan is known as quite fashionable, and for some reason I think the fashion industry would suit AC Milan more than Inter Milan. I don't know why, but yeah, I think it'd be cool if they invested in like AC Milan could could talk about how Milan is quite cosmopolitan and things like that. And the historical success. Number 6, in the past there was like a rumor that Louis Vuitton, the owner of Louis Vuitton, Bernard Arnault, sorry, I forgot his name, was going to invest in AC Milan, but apparently it was an elaborate scam. It's some sort of strange scam, which I don't quite understand. But so unfortunately, it was seen to be a rumor. But I know I made a video in the past specifically on why I think they would make a great fit. And given like AC Milan is quite cool and fashionable, I think I know I'm a bit biased, but I think it'd be a great fit for Louis Vuitton and other companies, fashion companies, and big brands to invest in AC Milan as well as companies that begin with A, as it's AC Milan. Given that alliteration, excuse me, and that sort of thing. Number 7, as I often say, I'd love for Italian teams like AC Milan to have a partnership with Celtic. So I think it'd be pretty cool if whoever invested in one possibly could invest in the other, perhaps. I know I often say that one, but sorry for being quite repetitive. But yeah, and also sharing ideas with Celtic as well, and like learning from other teams and things like that. Number 8, apparently LeBron James and Drake have invested in AC Milan. I think it'd be cool if other rappers, rock stars, and others, celebrities, and people like that perhaps maybe invested in AC Milan. I think that'd be quite interesting, and yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see how that goes. Number 9, I think it'd be cool if there was like artists for AC Milan, poets, authors, artists, and whatnot for AC Milan, entrepreneurs, sponsors, and that sort of thing. There could be like the hashtag. Those sorts of hashtags as well, and it'd be cool if, just as I said with Celtic, so please forgive me again for repeating myself, but I think it'd be cool if also for AC Milan, as well as other Italian teams, like anyone who sponsors or invests in the club, or anyone who's involved in the club at all, would connect with the fans, and like they have sort of networks and committees where they talk about, or even think tanks, I'll say, or whatever the difference is, where they talk about what could be the best for AC Milan and like 5 to 10 year plans and things like that. And number 10, that would include youth development. So I hope they have as much money as possible for football academies as well. I think it'd be so interesting to see if companies that begin with A would invest in AC Milan, or who would be interested in investing in AC Milan, and especially if they saw the brand value go up. It'd be pretty cool to see like new people investing in AC Milan as much as possible. Like I'd love as many people as possible, companies, big companies, and that sort of thing. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, as I say, and I am out. Peace and love.